on.
Daddy, I didn't do that, Daddy. I didn't do that.
I know you didn't.
Baby Z.
Baby Z.
Baby the baby.
Please take your finger out of your nose.
Dude, I don't like this. It's so long.
Here. Oh. All right, let's get cracking.
So how's the subway changed since you were a kid?
I mean, I gotta say, it's probably gotten better. People complain about it now, but it was much worse. When I was in 10th grade, I used to take the 4 or 5 train to Union Square from 86th Street. I used to went to Stuyvesant High School for a year, and it was a nightmare. I would wait 3 or 4 cars sometimes before I got on a train. And what we used to do then is you'd open up the straps between the cars and climb in to the space between the cars in order to get into the train. And actually, a lot of times it would be hard to do it because there'd almost be like a dude in every single one. It was also good because you could smoke there. I mean, there's a lot of reasons I do it. I draw and I animate and I illustrate, and that's kind of what I do, and I think this is kind of a good exercise for me. It's one of the reasons. Another reason, it's just a good creative outlet, you know? I mean, for me, there's not a lot of time to just sit and draw.
So your life's hectic.
Well, I mean, you know, as hectic as anyone who's got like a relatively demanding job with a wife who's got a demanding job and 3 demanding little kids. That's why I draw on the train sometimes, just because it's the only moment of peace I have.
When I start drawing, I expect my drawing to be broken up like within a minute. So I do the best to get the information that I want down. Then I, start working in details. I mean, like working like textures, which I think are really cool too. If you look around the train, there are all sorts of really cool textures.
Would you describe your subway stuff as caricatures?
You know, those, it depends. Like those drawings, they kind of change a lot depending on the mood I'm in and what I see. And it also depends. Like you see someone sometimes and they're just begging. You know, someone who's got crazy features, you just want their character, and I love to draw them. Sometimes I take it more as a composition thing. Like I'll just see a wide composition and try to catch that moment. Sometimes it's about gesture. It kind of just depends on the person. Sometimes they'll be making a really interesting gesture, and it's about that movement as opposed to like details of their face or their nose, but sometimes it's their face, that draws you in, or the way they're standing. Or the juxtaposition between 2 people is often kind of like compelling. You'll see a couple people together. I mean, I love drawing people with crazy hair though. I really get into hair. Like sometimes there are people who I just would like love to be drawing their hair for like an hour. Like sometimes just stop things and be like, just let me draw your hair and like get into it, just go crazy, So hair is a fun thing to draw. There are definitely people who I go after to, like if I scan the sort of field, I definitely will pick first people with crazy hair, facial hair. Unless they're the chassid, because I'll go to the chassid first, then I'll go to the person with the crazy hair, draw them. The good thing about chassids is they have crazy beards often. That's pretty fun to draw, like in profile, that's pretty cool.
So tell me a little bit more about the blog and how it came about.
So I just kind of started then. I'd been drawing a lot on the train even before that, but something kind of set off. I was just doing it, and then I was like, wow. I don't know, maybe I was looking at someone else's blog. Now I was doing a train, but some other thing, I was like, wow, I should just start posting. And I really don't like to use the word blog format too much when I describe what I do, just because people have a lot of annoying preconceptions about, I try to explain to my father why blogs could be relevant, and he's like, blog is a stupid blog. But it's a good format for it. It's a quick and easy way to post things. It's all about putting everything up. Like, I don't say, oh, this drawing sucks, I'm not gonna put it up. Sometimes I do think the drawing sucks. It's about the whole body of it together, which is what's important. It's like a visual diary. I kind of hope that people look at it and think, everyone begrudges the subway so much. It's like, oh, I ride the train. I think it's kind of an interesting place. I think people kind of open their eyes a little bit and look around. There's a lot of interesting experiences to kind of capture. I try to mix it up too nowadays. Before I used to use a pretty fine, like Pilot pen, and I use a thicker pen that you get washes out of. It's water soluble, so I got some cool stuff. So I can mix those things up and get a few different styles as well. But now I'm using some brush pens, and occasionally I'll do some color afterwards, but it's always something which is stuck in my mind pretty hard. I won't just gratuitously color all my drawings, because it's not really what it's about. And I generally use these Moleskines, these little 3.5, but what are they? 3.5 by 5 inch Moleskines, and I usually use the ones with the storyboard frames in them. It fits so nicely in my pocket. You gotta kind of roll with the punches as much as possible when you're trying to do the drawing. First of all, if you get on a crowded, packed train, you gotta try to negotiate a decent perch to sort of draw from. Ideally, the best thing is to lean up against the doors on the side of the train, which is not gonna open. And this morning I was on the A train, it was just bouncing. It was like the Dukes of Hazzard. And so sometimes the best you can do is just let it go with the flow, let your line get loose, and do the best you can. On the subway, most people don't look at you. Most of the people, if you look in the drawings, I'd say 90% of people are head down, looking down, facing a book, or just staring off into space, or sleeping, which are the best people to draw because they don't move. Once they see you drawing, then I feel like they don't feel weird sometimes they don't feel weird about making contact with you because they feel like they've been invited in, and you're non-threatening because you're drawing them. Not many dudes who are gonna get nasty with someone on the subway are gonna draw them first. It's just not done. And then sometimes you get different reactions. Some people are get a little freaked out. I can tell, get uncomfortable, and don't really do anything. Sometimes people move away, occasionally. I've had people who kind of pose, not but you could tell they're then trying to kind of look good. And a couple of times, people have gotten upset. Over my I'd say 11 or 12 years doing it, I've had maybe 2 people get really, verbally pissed off at me.
They actually asked you to stop.
Well, they more freaked out. I don't think they were the most stable of individuals, really, But you know, I try to be as invisible as possible too when I draw. You know, I don't want to call attention to myself, you know, because then people definitely know I'm drawing. I mean, just either they'll get uncomfortable or move away or just look less natural in some way. One time I was with these two guys were standing next to me, like, I hope I don't end up in that sketchbook. I'm like, don't worry, dude, you're not gonna.
But do you think it has an end? Like, is it here first?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I guess I mean, I don't know. Will I ever stop drawing the train? Will I move out of New York and not ride the train anymore? Who knows? I mean, I think once you're in something like this, you don't really think about it, but then eventually it does end. One thing that's important about work is like, some dudes can draw unbelievable drawing skills, but that doesn't really evoke any emotion in you. You know, you're like, oh, that's a great drawing, but that's about it. And sometimes you'll see something which the guy, it's kind of primitive or not very, yeah, where you're just like, wow, you know, there's something about it that just moves you. And I think that I've gotten a lot of like notes, emails and stuff from people about my subway drawing. A lot of people, a lot of expat New Yorkers, you know, in places are like, wow, it really brings me back and miss New York. And I even hated riding the subway when I was there, and now I kind of miss it. And, you know, it's about capturing that feeling and that atmosphere and invoking emotion. That's what's important to me. Like, things can be done super well technically, and you know, you admire it, but at the same time, you're like, at the end of the day, you're not gonna remember it, you know, down the line. But those things that kind of touch you in that little special way deep inside, you know, that's what you remember.
My girlfriend pregnant, I can't find a job. Think I got cracked in the house.